Blast me to the mortal realms. It's time for the Mad Merlins review of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer, issue 37 by Hachette Partworks and Warhammer. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Warhammer Age of Sigmar video review. And today we are taking a look at issue 37, which brings us our second unit of Sylvaneth in the form of Ylthari's Guardians, which is one of the now out of print Underworld's warbands. And we also get an STC dry brush there, which we're learning how to use, I'm guessing, in a paint guide. So before we dive into the issue, don't forget to, of course, like the video if you are enjoying the content. And if you are, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so, as it's the only way you can keep up to date with all my mad content. Finally, don't forget to check all the links in the video description down below, including the Mad Merlins Patreon, as well as my other social medias, where you can keep up to date with all my hobby items that I'm working on. So let's dive into issue 37 and see about these tree guys. So here we have our issue. We got our brush and our models. And we have a fold out there for the Army's Death. So yeah, I'll have a closer look at these in just a sec. Really cool models. Nice individually detailed bases as well. And we get an STC small dry brush. So it'll be pretty cool to see how this works. I've only just started using my STC brushes so far. I'm kind of liking them. Yeah, pretty cool anyway. Be interesting to see how the dry brush works. So first off, we'll take a look at our models, and then we'll take a look through issue 37. So here we have the frame for Ylthari's Guardians, and as you can see, they are a bunch of tree people ready to explore the Underworld's setting. So yeah, pretty cool. Each one is a nice unique model, as are all the Underworld's warbands. So we have a axe wielding guy there. We got Ylthari with the wizard staff there and the cool back banner detail. Then we have one with a sword here. It's pretty cool. And we also have one with a bow as well. So yeah, some really interesting models. Sadly, I missed out on these guys when they first came out. So this is actually the first time I've gotten this warband. If anyone knows a good place I can try and get the fighter cards for these guys, let me know in the comments, as I'd like to try these guys out in Underworlds. So yeah, that's that. All right, let's take a look at our issue. So issue 37 brings us Ylthari's Guardians, the Allegiance abilities, and we learn about Death Armies. So we have part 4 of our Spearhead story. So we return to the Stormcasts of Illyria Swiftwind. We have our fold out for the Armies of Death. We have our collect, build and paint article for Ylthari's Guardians. I don't know why it says Spearhead there. I'm guessing somebody didn't change the title in the copy box there. So for some reason it's now a Spearhead build and paint guide. But we also have 2 new pages for our core rules. We have new page for Allegiance abilities, War Scrolls for the Sylvaneth, and our mission is Growing Darkness. So, Spearhead Part 4. Having arrived in Ulgu, Illyria Swiftwind and a force of Stormcast Eternals make their way through a mist-shrouded forest. However, their progress grinds to a halt as they find themselves lost in the swirling darkness of the realm. As I said in issue 35, I'm a little behind on the stories, but this picks up on Illyria Swiftwind and her fellow Stormcast from the Hammers of Sigmar as they navigate through Ulgu, and by the looks of things, they're going to require the help of the Sylvaneth to help get them through this rather murky wood. And yeah, to be continued. So yeah, we've definitely got more to come on that story. Yeah, we see the Stormcast actually fighting off against the trees there. So I'm guessing it's not going to be the best of alliances. Yeah, that is what the Sylvaneth are. They are warlike, so any chance to fight, they will fight pretty much. Moving on then, we have our article for Ylthari's Guardians. So these are a band of Sylvaneth who battle against the forces of undeath. Although they were only recently awakened, each is a great hero in their own right. Under the leadership of Ylthari, they seek to heal the realms and bring life to dead places. So we got a table to choose the reason that they are joining our forces in the battle for the Mortal Realms, and their particularly chosen tactic there as well. So each one has a pre-generated name. So we have Ylthari here, we have Galangan, we have Skatfael, and Unslain. So that's our fighters. Then we got our build guide. So these are push fit models, so you don't need glue, but if you want a more permanent hold, glue will be required. I will recommend, as it says here, paint the base before you attach her down to it. Otherwise, you're not going to get in between those vines very easily. And the others we can glue straight to the bases as they are still pretty open. So yeah, we got Skatfael here with the sword, we have Galangan with his axe, and we have Unslain with the bow there. Moving on then, we have our painting guide. So very similar to the Arc Revenant from issue 35, we start with Catch and Flesh, picking out a couple of the spites in Carntor Blue, picking out the vines and leaves with Auric Flesh. Baraknar Burgundy is used on some of the other spites around the unit. Corax White is used to paint the weapons and the spirit bodies of our Sylvaneth, as well as the vial there. Wraithbone is used to pick out some of the joints in the wood, so like the back of the knee here, for instance, and bits of rope. Runelord Brass for metal trinkets scattered around the models. We use Baraknar Burgundy to pick out the flowers there on Galagan's back. Then we use Agrax Earthshade to shade the Wraithbone and the Runelord Brass details. Nuln Oil is used to shade the wood and the blue. And the Baraknar Burgundy, avoiding the tree colours, which we'll be using in a future issue, which we get Athenian Camoshade. Griff Charger Grey is used to shade the areas we've painted white, so the weapons, the little vial there, and of course the spirit bodies. And yeah, so we're not using our dry brush yet, but there we have our finished models, and yeah, they do look pretty cool. Can't wait to see these guys built and painted for myself. Moving on then, we have page 17 of our rules, and this looks at allegiance abilities, how to ally in units, battle traits, enhancements, artifacts, spell laws, prayers, triumphs, sub-faction abilities, etc. Then we have page 18, which has a list of universal enhancements that can be taken. Next up, we have a tutorial teaching us all about allegiance abilities. So allegiance abilities provide benefits to your army if all the models are taken from the same faction. There are two main types of allegiance abilities: battle traits, which are abilities that can be used by units in your army, and enhancements, which represent abilities, weapons, equipment carried by heroes. So to use Allegiance abilities, the models in your army must come from the same faction. So Stormcast Eternals, such as Stormcast Eternals or Dream Spike Gits. However, you can include allied units and still use Allegiance abilities when playing games from Stormbringer. So you can always use your faction's Allegiance abilities no matter how many allied units are in your army. So this is similar to how they did it with Imperium, which is pretty cool. While you won't be able to use that tactic in real games, it's good to learn here anyway. And eventually we'll probably have ways we can build individual armies focusing on a single faction, and we'll learn a bit more and expand from that. So yeah, we've got the battle traits, which will be coming in future issues, and we've got a few of those found in Basics 15 there, and in future issues we'll receive more. And then we have enhancements, which will be given to heroes. Enhancements can't be taken by named heroes such as Ylthari. And yeah, we've got universal enhancements on the back, so command traits, artifacts, spell lore, prayers, and triumphs there. Finally, then we got a set of war scrolls for the Sylvaneth. So we've got Ylthari and the Guardians there. So yeah, pretty cool. Each one is unique. So they've got different weapons and abilities. So if you want to read them yourself, take a pause and read them there. But yeah, pretty cool. They support each other, which is good. Yeah. And we got some tutorials on the back. So for Vigor and Wrath there, the ability, the Reaping, and also Martial Memories there. Next then, we have issues, a battle. So we have Alliance of Order and Alliance of Destruction Forces. We have Ylthari, the Arch Revenant, Ylthari's Guardians, 5 Vigilors, and 6 Griffhounds, facing off against the Fungoid Cave Shaman, Manak the Cunning, and his Cunning crew, 20 Shooters, and the Marsh Crawler Slogoth. So we are end-to-end battlefields using 2 mats, 3 objectives down the centre there, scoring 1 point for controlling at least 1 objective, another point for 2, and 1 if we control more than the opponent. And we also have Contest of Heroes, so before the battle begins, each player picks 1 command trait, 1 artifact, 1 spell, and 1 triumph. In this battle, you can give enhancements to Ylthari and Manak, even though they are named characters. So it's a nice little bit of a break to the rules there. Pretty cool. Help us learn things with Greek characters that wouldn't normally be able to, which is pretty cool. So before we look at the future, we have the fold out for the issue, and that is Armies of Death. So under the command of Nagash, the Great Necromancer, armies of the dead rise to wage war upon all who live. They fight to bring a sterile order to the realms, the Necrotopia, a silent empire in which no living being remains, and all are bound to the will of Nagash. One of the newest factions here, the Nighthaunts, which are raised during the Soul Wars back in 2nd edition. Probably one of the coolest death armies out there. There are mortal followers such as necromancers and death dealers like the corpse cart rider there. All undead have no fear and give no mercy, as they are unliving soulless beings. Here we see a huge Soulblight Gravelord army facing off against the ogres there, with Nagash at the head. A Vangorian Lord, another Vampire Lord, Corpse Cart, more Vampire Lords, Dire Wolves, Zombies, Skeletons, Bats, and even the Dragon. Over here we got a few different units. So we got the Chain Rasps on the Nighthaunts, we got Bone Reapers of the Ossiarchs there, and we even have the Ghouls of the Flesh Eater Courts there. And on the back, definitely magic and a haunting presence are parts of the undead armies. So pretty cool. Going back to what's in the next issue, we have 5 more Vindictors in issue 38, and we learn to paint the Iron Fanes. Finally, can't wait. We also learn about how to make our characters and units hail from Ulgu. Then in issue 39, we get a paint issue. So we get Reichland Flesh Shade and a Fane Camera Shade. The last two colours, I believe, we need to finish off the shades in the collection. So yeah, pretty cool. We learn about mysterious terrain as well. So yeah, we should be looking at getting layer paints after issue 39, so that'd be quite cool. But before that, we do have a rather cool kit in the form of the Spirit of Durfu. So yeah, there we have it. That was issue 37. And yeah, great issue. I'm glad to have the Ylthari's Guardians. It's a warband. Like I said, I missed out first time around. And yeah, nice to have it. And if anyone does know on the way I can get the cards, please let me know. I would like to get a hold of a set so I can actually try these guys out in Games of Underworlds. So yeah, not a bad issue. We get another STC brush to add to our paint collection. But other than that, pretty light, I think, on the reading material, really. But still, we got some nice gaming articles, which is a nice change. But let me know what you thought of this issue in the comment section down below. And until next time, thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.